Hi there and welcome to base painting the Daiyokai Dengekitai. I'm having to read this from the book because I can't remember his name yet. Well, I'm pretty sure the Daiyokai means big demon or great demon. Dai normally meaning large. I think yokai is demon. I'm not sure if it's exact translation, but it's something like that. Either way, first up I'm going to just give him a good coat of charcoal grey. Here we've got charcoal grey done and just laid it up over the whole thing, as is my wont. Just noticing a couple of bits that I might have missed, oopsie. But either way, next up, going to cover everything with a blue-grey, semi-wet brush. Then bring that up to white and then knock it back again, as again is my wont. So I shall get them done and I'll be back in a second so you can see the blue-grey, dry brushy, malarkeyed thingy whatnot, and we will be on the way with the Daiyokai. Catch you in a second. So here we have it then. This is just a simple white pseudo wet brush, and I'm just making a point when I'm doing this, which is dragging straight down a miniature. I am reaching in up and under. The only time this isn't the case is just dragging it across his face, so dragging across his face, and as ever at this point for me it's just about getting your light shade tonal values down and providing a layer of paint over your primer. Again, as I say, it does supply the basic lighting effects, so you start getting all this sort of drag down. You've got your shades, your hollows, your recesses, all of your top edges have got light. It provides an uneven coat of paint, which again is actually quite important for me because once I've applied ink, which is what is the next step for me anyway, again you could, from here you see, you could just work details in and actually it would look quite nice. It would give you a nice painterly effect, but it would leave you with that chalky effect, which is the effect of using a sort of wet dry brush. I'm using a wet brush rather than a full dry brush, so again, that's sort of up to you, but this is the kind of level of coverage and white edges I'm trying to achieve at this point. I always feel at the moment like he's a bit of a butterfly. He's just hatched out of his cocoon and he's all beautiful and murderous and ready to eat everything. He even has like the antenna like a butterfly. Also with this kind of starts prepping me towards with the helmet. I'm going to be doing a full demon face, and I want to use the sort of the sticky uppy bits. I forgot what they're called. Like a headdress on the peak. Most samurai helmets have these, by the way, and it is normally built up as part of the peak. But I forgot what they're called. Oopsie, it's part of the kabuto, which is the helmet. And I'm actually going to do a full demon head paint job on the helmet and use the sticky uppy bits as the teeth, like the tusky teeth, the bottom teeth which stick up and out, so that, well, hopefully it'll be a cool looking head, but you can decide for yourselves when I eventually get there and it's done. So next up I'm just going to lay up ink, and I'm just going to put a thin black ink over all of this, so it'll be like 1 part black ink, 2 parts water, maybe a bit thinner. So I'll get back to you in a moment when that's all dry and you can see how it looks. Here you go, this is the ink applied, and it did end up being 1 part black, 2 parts blue ink. So 1 part black ink, 2 parts blue ink, and 2 parts water, roughly. But when you're doing this kind of thing, I mixed it too thin to begin with, and make sure you're applying it quite like a lot, so there's a lot of liquid so it doesn't dry too quickly, because if you apply it thinly sometimes you can find it's dried out before you've given it a good coating. And then you can see it has dried in an irregular fashion, but for me that's kind of cool. It starts giving you lots of lighting effects that you wouldn't otherwise have. And actually, although you could in many respects use this essentially as the paint job, this is one of the methods I use for just sort of fast painting something. Give it base colour, dry brush it, chuck an ink, sort of a mixed ink. All these army toner, army shader things, if you like, don't possess any of them myself. They're meant to be very good, especially the oil based ones. I say oil based ones, I'm not sure. I get the impression that some of them are smelly though, which would infer they're oil based, although some acrylics are also very smelly. But this kind of thing, it just gives you that overall tone. It blends all of your chalky dry brushing together, and it leaves you with a decent lighting effect with smooth transitions. The inks also tend to pool on the bottom edges of things, which helps to enhance the light to dark quality. In this case, the reason I introduced the blue is because I'm going to be pushing a lot of this up to the sort of white tonal range, because that is the colour scheme for the Japanese secessionist army. Got there in the end. So next up, I'm going to start reapplying all of my grey tones. So I'll be introducing all of my warm greys, pink if you like, to what's going to become red, and all of my blue greys to everything that's going to be moving up to white. Will at this point as ever tend to leave the sort of details in the recesses, like all of the mechanical parts for the musculature. I'll leave them in this sort of blue, grey, black state. So they're already highlighted, they're already dealt with, and it means that everything right in the recesses has the shading and highlighting already done. So I'll get back to you in a second with my cold and warm greys applied. We go and have finished up the underpainting on the white and the red and also the green, because I decided to do the 5 panels in green, which is in keeping with my Domaro Butai. So going to maintain that theme running through the whole thing. Also, the top of the helmet is going to be going completely white to begin with, highlighting wise, and brought up in line with the white painting. And that's because ultimately I'm going to be painting the whole of the top of the helmet as a demon head, and I'll have these as the tusky teeth of an Oni. I even look up what a yokai actually is, just to make sure and see if there are any specific characteristics of a yokai. Quite want to keep this running in the theme of my heavy staff, where it's got sort of demony things painted on it or what have you. Also, quite often at this point I would have everything redded in, whited in or what have you. Hence normally there is the blending of the underpainting and base painting phase, but this is very much an underpainting phase, or base coating. Is it base coating? No, underpainting. Normally by the end of base coating you have got all of your basic colours in. Hence it's base coating, for it is your basic colouring. However, this is going to need quite a bit of work, so next time is probably going to be toning. The reason this is taking a long time is, well, it's taking me like 10 hours I think to get to this stage, maybe, certainly 6. So yeah, very time consuming. So I hope it's been some use and interest to you, and that you're painting everything and it's coming out really, really well. Thank you for watching, have a good one, take care, bye bye.